Hey, and welcome to our first project. So we are going to be taking our peg loom and making a bath mat. We are going to be using some of our Icelandic fleece that we had, and also some of the Romney fleece that we have. And we are going to be weaving them in between these pegs. So each peg, as we mentioned before, has a hole in each one of them, about an inch up, and I'm just using this crazy tapestry needle because it's what I have available, and I'm just going to take these and set them up. So this is the warp, and the warp is what holds the rug together, and I'm just feeding each one through the hole in the peg, and then I'm going to set it back down into the hole. So I'm going to do that. I have most of them set up, but I just wanted to show you the simple step of just threading the warp onto the pegs. And each, so this project is going to be 24 inches because each peg is an inch apart. So 24 by about how long this is, because that's how much cotton thread that I had available. So once we get this set up, I will show you how it actually weaves. It's kind of cool, actually. So why did we choose a peg loom over a big floor loom? Well, we don't have a lot of space in our house, so we thought that this would be a great way to make the rugs that we want in our home. A, on a budget, and B, using a tool that doesn't take up a lot of space in our house. It's portable. I can take it to shows with me, and I can also, it's so versatile that I think and easy to use that I think my 3-year-old could probably do it. Alright, so I'm going to be taking this roving-ish stuff. Some people will just take raw wool and they'll just pile it up and they'll kind of spin it in their hands and they'll weave it through each one of the pegs. I actually spun this a little bit on my Spinolution wheel just to kind of hold it together a little bit more, and I was curious to see if I could do it, and eventually I have a whole bunch of yarn that I'm going to try to do some core spinning with as the core. It's just some waste yarn, so I'm going to be trying that as well. So to set up the peg loom, you just make sure that you take the pegs that you're going to be using. Now I can take these off so you can see that this is how big the project's going to be. And so it's just going to be these 24 pegs. And what we're going to do is we're going to start, some people start it differently. I'm going to start it somewhat in the middle, and all you do is you just weave your fiber in between these pegs. So I'm just going to, on the end, you just pull it through and you just keep working it back and forth, back and forth. Now, I have only seen this done. I have never done this myself before. So I'm take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, and I will keep posting videos as I go so that we can get a little bit better understanding of how to make this process smoother or more enjoyable or whatever. But I am just loving it, actually. I work full-time. This is actually my side hobby, kind of passion that I do. And I work full-time as a registered nurse. I work in an emergency room, and working with fiber helps me to calm down at the end of the day. A lot of times we see some things that nobody really wants to see, and this is a way for me to reconnect with myself and take my mind off of a lot of the stuff that I have no control over. When you go to take it off the pegs, all you're going to do, and I stopped in the middle so that I didn't have an end, so I'm 5 in, so I'll have to remember to go back around on 5. But, so basically you just pull these pegs out. Now these holes, some of these pegs are thinner than the other ones, and some of them will come out easier than the others, but so all I'm doing is pulling these pegs right out of their hole and dropping them down. And we just pull this down, and as we go we just add more and more, just add more as you go. And so then we slide these back in their holes. This is working so smooth. So again, I'm just going to pull these pegs out. Alright guys, so I think that we're going to take a little bit of a break. I think I might spin some of the Romney. One thing that I did do is to really pull down and see what this is going to look like when it's all pulled tight together. Just wanted to kind of show you guys that as we get to pull it really tight together, you will see how beautiful this is. You do see the warp through it, but I think that has more to do with my spinning, because you don't see it in a bunch of the spots where I do have some thick spun yarn. One thing also that I did is to hold it onto the table is we put these clamps on, and it's holding the loom tight to the table so that I can really pull on it and get more of a feel for what this is going to look like. I am loving this so far. It is so lush and wonderful. I wish you guys could feel this right now. It just feels amazing. Alright, good night everybody. I hope you guys love this video as much as I love making this. So please comment, like, follow us, share any stories you guys have with your peg looms. I'm eager to hear them. Cheers. Good night.